Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Hey, let's fucking get some hookers up in here.
Oh,
It's me, Richie.
I mean, you can't just keep calling yourself that.
Bowling shirt, fedora, cool personality. That's me.
We got an episode to
Hey,
record.
you ever listen to Real Big Fish?
You really think that he's a ska fan?
Do you know the Real Big Fish I like? Pussy.
Oh my god. Okay, we need to get away from this. Let's get into this.
Ghostfacers! We visit ghosts, where others were not, we're ghosts! Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghostfacers! We visit nightmare, we visit dread! Ghostfacers! We visit faceless, we visit dead!
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing Season 3, Episode number 4, Sin City.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that yellow bastard. We're going to talk about Marv.
It's a different podcast.
We're going to talk about fucking Elijah Wood's creepy no-eye sunglass cannibal.
That's Frank Miller. We're talking about Supernatural, the TV show. This is a TV show, not the movie or the comic
The black and white one.
Nope, that's a movie and a comic book. No, we're talking about the...
None of my notes are relevant.
No, we're talking about the episode that aired October 25th, 2007, written by Robert Singer and Jeremy Cover.
Ooh.
That's right. Directed by Charles Beeson. Viewed by an estimated 3.02 million viewers.
Tight.
Solid.
Good numbers.
I think, like, yeah, as long as we're in the threes, we're pretty safe. Like, those are par for the course, right? Yeah. I think we're in a safe spot. Let's watch the promo, though, for this episode.
Right.
I love being able to do that now.
All right, let's have it. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Just, like, pushing the sin in the city.
It almost gives away the goat a little bit. Not fully, but almost.
Definitely sets you up to be like, oh, who's this lady?
Yeah.
The international titles for this episode.
Oh my god.
This episode, Sin City, being a song by AC/DC.
Right.
Still pulling from those classic rock songs. Basically, everybody just got it right. I mean, it's kind of hard to not assume that they would get this right because, I mean, like, sin is a worldwide thing. Like, everyone got a version of that or a word for it. And of course, city as well. So the only real difference is, so Brazil, straight up Sin City. Typically, that's the way Brazil runs, I think.
Sin City?
No, I mean, like, that they generally just one for one.
Oh, right. Yes.
One for one with the titles. But the German, Hungarian, Polish, and French titles, slightly different. City of Sin.
Oh, I was going to say like Sinful City.
Yeah,
but yeah.
City of Sin.
Gotcha,
Basically the same thing. I mean, this episode is one of the least like changed ones that we've had so far.
Oh, man.
Season 3, I know. By season 4, I might have to just get rid of
the Russian
segment.
title is just St. Petersburg.
Oh, no.
They just call out a city.
Yeah. Some great featured music in this episode.
Yes.
We got Run Through the Jungle by Creedence Clearwater Revival. CCR,
Yeah,
baby. Oh, yes. We got Bad Seed by Brimstone Hotel. Nikki by Sasquatch. And Did You See It by Mother Superior.
Yeah. Some good stuff in there.
Really, really good one. I mean, yeah, an episode about like a sinful city, you need to have some good classic rock. I think.
Totally.
It totally makes sense, right? Let's see what TV Guide says about this episode. A quiet town in Ohio becomes a haven of vice and violence, and Sam and Dean suspect demons are behind the change. Meanwhile, Ruby and Bobby begin rebuilding the Colt. I mean, they don't really begin. They just have a conversation and then it's done.
Well, you don't. There's no montage of them. It's not like reforging Aragorn's sword or something. It's like
that is the TV Guide for this episode. I mean, we're blasting through already, but before we start talking about our thoughts on today's episode, why don't we open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore on today's monster?
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's see what the lore says about demons.
Oh, thank God. Whoa, this is the first time?
We've talked about demonic possession.
Whoa.
But I saved this.
Oh my, for this one.
Because we learn a little bit about
The way demons work.
about demonology
Yeah.
in this episode. We've encountered demons a few times through the seasons,
Yeah.
but now we're actually going to talk about them. So,
Nice.
so demon, very broadly, a supernatural being typically associated with evil or dark tendencies.
Yeah.
So, things like devas in Zoroastrianism, or the oni in Japanese folklore, who I think the oni they attend like the gods of the underworld or something like that in Japanese folklore. And then there's narakas in Jainism or Jainism. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm very, very sorry. And of course, demons, devils from kind of Judeo-Christian folklore. The word itself derives from the Greek word daimon, which isn't that also isn't that like a Ferengi rank?
No, daimon? Yeah.
Human. Oh no, that's daemon.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
daimon.
so it derives from that Greek word, but that more refers to just a spirit or divine power. Apparently, the Greek word doesn't really have negative connotations to it. It actually means something closer to like a distributor, or basically someone that would like deliver messages or tidings, or basically like an intermediary between divine powers and mortals. So the Greek word doesn't have like an evil connotation, but I think by the time the Romans kind of adopt a lot of Greek culture in that, then they start twisting it that way, and then it develops from there. Many traditions view demons as capable of possession. This is a very common thread, especially once they're considered to be more evil. The big threat of a demon is that it would control you.
Oh,
that's that's their big playbook. That's the move a demon pulls for the majority of their sort of like Judeo-Christian lore. The idea of the deals with the demons and that's a thing that exists like in storytelling, and that next week we'll talk about it, but there's even fairy tales that deal with like making deals and things like that. But the big kind of playbook for a demon is usually possession. So especially in Abrahamic faiths, though some of the demonology of those religions goes all the way back to Zoroastrianism and sort of precursor religions and faiths that came before that. There's some interesting stuff with demons here. So there's demon lore, demonology that goes back to ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia. There's demonology as like one of those more kind of mystical branches of Judaism.
Oh,
there's
wow.
a whole. I'd be lying if I said I understood it, but there's a sort of whole branch of like Judaic thought and philosophy and theology that's like about demonology.
Oh,
That's almost a little bit separate from the faith itself, but it's all tied together. So apparently there are different kinds of demons. So in Judaism, as an example, so the Tanakh mentions two classes of demonic spirits: the Seirim and the Shedim. The Seirim are meant to be like demons in the shape of goats. We've already talked about the scapegoat, like Azazel, and talked about sort of lore. And then the Shedim, they're foreign gods, like the idea that they are. Remember when we talked about the Vanir?
yes.
And how like the Asgardians, if they are considered to be the Norse gods, the Vanir are like the other pagan gods that they would fold in. So these Shedim kind of feel like that a little bit, but essentially they were all kind of referred to and lumped in as demons, essentially.
Wow.
Which is sort of wild. Over the years, there have been lots of attempts to classify demons, specifically Christian demons. So let's get into that. So we talked about Binsfield in, I think, the first episode of this season in reference to the 7 deadly sins. So Binsfield's classification of demons actually assigned specific sins to specific demons.
Oh, okay.
So
the way that there is like wrath and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so he said Lucifer was pride.
Yes.
Mammon was greed. Asmodeus was lust.
Yeah.
Leviathan was envy. Beelzebub was gluttony. Satan was wrath. Belphegor was sloth. I'm not sure what the separation of Satan and Lucifer is there. That confused me a little bit, but I'm not sure about that. King James had a slightly different classification. So the King James Bible is obviously a translation, a version of the Bible. And King James wrote a dissertation titled Demonology that was published in 1597, which is before the King James Bible was published. So he wrote about different types of demons. So he referred to spectra, which describes spirits that trouble houses or solitary places. Obsession, which are spirits that follow certain people and outwardly trouble them at various times.
Yeah.
Possession, which are spirits that enter inwardly into a person to trouble them. And fairies, or spirits that like prophesy or consort or transport. So he sort of split demons up that way a little bit, about kind of like what their role was as opposed to what sin they represent.
Yeah.
And then there's meant to be other classifications include like hierarchies of demons, an idea that demons come in a degree of power and dominion and responsibility and things like that. The idea that there's sort of like a low tier, like almost like drone class demon.
Oh yeah.
And then like a higher hierarchy one, like your sergeant kind of demons, and then like your high kind of like almost like royal demons. It's interesting that there's all of these different classifications of demons and things like that. They're all just various interpretations of belief, right? It's not like anyone's interviewed demons and figured out what their structure is.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But it's kind of neat to see how it adapts and changes over time. But the big thing with demons, especially the Judeo-Christian demons, they are souls from hell. They corrupt, they nudge, they goad people to make sinful choices and things like that. If granted the opportunity, they will possess. In some demonology, that's because they can't exist without like an anchor in our plane of existence. But that's why an exorcism works. In an exorcism, it doesn't just leave a body immediately fly to another body. You're banishing them like from that plane of existence by sort of severing their tie there. But usually, even possession in that, I think there's meant to be an implication that there's like a weakness in the soul or something like that through which a demon can enter. But yeah.
Demons,
they literally exist in every culture in some way. I mean, our version of them, we think of devils and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
We think of horns, we think of fire, we think of brimstone, we're thinking of Christian hell largely. But yeah, there are demons or demonic entities in every single culture. You could make the argument that something like a Wendigo is viewed like a demon.
Depending on...
I mean, a Wendigo is a very specific thing, but so are other demons like Oni or devas or stuff like that.
Yeah.
The word demon very broadly kind of is referring to like malevolent spirits. So in that way, if you're a magically imbued malevolent something, you know.
Yeah.
You can etymologically, at least, like with the word, make the argument that vampires, things like that, are demons.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about here. Demon is a very specific kind of creature of hell.
Demon.
But like the word itself, again, you go back to the Greek, and it's even broader. They don't even have to be bad. They're just spirits.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just anything that like is supernatural people don't understand for the most part.
Essentially, yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that broad.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that. Well, that means that we are heading into today's episode. Our then that we start off with is the mostly talking about the opening of the Devil's Gate Yellow Eyes claiming that Sam maybe isn't fully Sam that returned.
Yeah.
And we get some shots of Ruby sort of connecting us to like this episode's going to have Ruby.
Yeah.
We're still having that question about who Sam really is, and that they're going to have to continuously throughout the season deal with the fallout from this Devil Gate opening.
Yeah.
So then now we open in an empty church at night. The building that serves as Father Gill's church is St. Paul's Indian Catholic Church in North Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't love the fact that the word Indian's in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's North Vancouver.
Yeah, Jesus. North Vancouver, come on.
This is the same church that is used in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Interesting.
Yeah. We see a nun with a priest who finds a parishioner at the top of basically the I don't know what that area is called, but the second level instead of a church.
Yeah, the viewing gallery.
The nosebleed seats. Yeah.
Yeah, the church's nosebleed seats.
Yeah, it's, up there, who pulls out a gun.
If you don't have enough to put in the tin, they make you sit up there.
Yes. Did he
Yeah.
pull out the gun? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
he
so
pulls out a
this
gun.
there's a couple of like these supernatural turns.
Yes.
Like the show kind of turns here. So the nun is putting away like the choir books or whatever, the hymn books and stuff in the pews. The candles blow out. She notices it. She goes to put another book back. The priest is there. He's like, here's another book. She goes, oh, so sorry.
The priest is not scary. Yeah.
And then they start walking away. They see this guy, I can't remember his name, up in the cheap seats. And he pulls a gun and blows his brains out in front of him.
Yeah. Very, I mean, that's mostly like the beginning of this episode.
It.
Yeah, it was a very quick sort of death in
Yeah.
this. He talks about he goes on a bit of like talking about how people don't like that you'll never fix it, or like people won't understand it. Like it's a very broad sort of thing. We then flash to Dean helping Bobby work on the Colt.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, work on his body.
Oh, come on.
Sam finds some demonic omens and 2 unusual deaths in Elizabeth, Ohio.
Yes.
They're basically trying to figure out, like, now that the Colt's bullets are gone, how are they going to make this thing usable again, right? Like,
exactly.
Is it something in the gun that they can like figure out? Like, what's sort of the key to?
Yeah, and he's like fully disassembled it, like screws, everything is coming out of it.
Yeah,
and
even Sam makes
like looking at like the runes and the marks on it and everything. He's trying to figure it out.
One of the boys makes a comment like, "You're gonna have this fixed, right, by the time that we need it." And
I
he's
love
just like,
Bobby's comeback where he's like, "It might not kill demons, but I guarantee it'll shoot you."
Yeah, great. So the brothers head to the factory town. Posing as insurance agents, they speak to Father Gill, who witnessed one of the deaths they discussed the suicide that happened in the church that we saw from the beginning of this
That's
episode.
right.
They find out the man suddenly changed one day, ruining his life, giving into sin, as well as
he cheated on his wife. He tanked his business.
Yeah.
He
just like
started doing drugs or
out of
was
nowhere.
drinking or something.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And they also mention a previous case, a gentleman by the name of Tony Perkins.
Yes.
Anthony Perkins was the name of the actor who played Norman Bates in the original Psycho.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. As they check into their hotel, they run into Richie.
Oh God, Richie.
A hunter Dean has worked with before. Richie
is so scummy. He makes Dean look like Sam.
He's got a jumpsuit on. He's short. He's got a fedora. Why don't we jump into a little supernatural theater?
Oh my God.
And you can play Richie.
Oh my God. Good. I'm going to be as scummy as possible.
I figured this is the role you've been waiting for.
Oh yeah, I love that. All right, a little supernatural theater. here.
Little 2-page supernatural theater here for everybody.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So
you're going to do the
Yeah.
scene directions?
that's right.
Okay.
So scene, interior hotel.
Do I need to also play one of Sam or Dean, or are you just going to
I'll do
all
everybody that's not
that?
Richie.
You just want me to be Richie?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Sam and Dean are entering their room. Dean chuckling at the mirrors on the ceiling when the door across the hall opens. Richie! The other guy looks up. I don't believe it.
Hey, Dean Winchester, right?
Yeah! A tall, scantily dressed girl appears from Richie's room.
This is my sister, Cheryl.
Hey! Cheryl?
There. Well, stepsister.
Hands Cheryl some money as Cheryl leaves to Dean and Sam. Come in. This is my brother Sam.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. How do you two know each other? You were in school.
It was that succubus in Canarsie, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you should have seen the rack on this broad. Freaking tragedy when I had to gank her.
Whoa, wait. Who killed her? If I remember, your ass was toast until I showed up.
Oh, I forgot what a comedian this guy was.
Richie, you know what? I told you then, and I'll tell you again. You're not cut out for this job. You're going to get yourself killed. Richie's phone rings.
Talk to me. FYI, Winchester, words hurt. Yeah? No, it's not a good time, babe. Later.
So you find anything in this town anyway?
No, I got nothing. Oh, wait a minute. You mean as in demons and whatnot?
Yeah.
No, I got nothing.
Typical. What about your sister back there?
Oh, honestly, she definitely had the devil in her, but she wasn't no demon. You know what I'm saying?
What a fucking scene.
What a dirtbag.
What a complete dirtbag. I love Richie so much.
I mean, I know he knows that he's not even really lying with
Yes.
Dean, but even just amending his life from like, it's my sister to like, it's my stepsister. So I was fucking her. It's like a pretty scummy, even as a lie.
a very modern take, though, you know?
Yeah.
It's my stepsister. It's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, they just left us at this hotel. Our parents said they'd be back by now.
On a tip from Richie, the boys go to check out a bar owned by Trotter, a local businessman.
Yeah.
They find the town full of lusty people who like partying and gambling. They find Richie again inside the bar. They're surprised.
Richie is like this guy. He's got greasy hair, wears a fedora. He's wearing these fucking ugly bowling shirts, and he's
Yes.
like, "Hey, it's made of fucking silk," or
Yeah.
like whatever the shit. he says.
You know, usually the shirt will be like $300, but you know me, forget about it. And Sam's like, well, how did you get it then? Did you steal it? And he's like, forget about it.
Ugh, he's so scummy.
What do you mean, forget about it? Forget about it. Love it.
We've met people engaging in, I would argue, more scummy behavior than Richie. I mean, Richie seems unlikable and scummy, but he's paid a hooker.
Yeah.
And that's fine because sex work is work.
Yeah.
He's paying her. He's not like cheaping
Yeah.
out or anything. It's better than what the fuck Andy was doing with his mind control shit.
100%.
But somehow Richie, it comes off so horrible.
Yeah. He's got a bit of the Guy Fieri thing where people just like assume they're bad because they're unlikable.
Yes.
Just because he's not cool, but thinks he is.
Yeah, maybe that's
It's
what
an
it is.
unfair trait to put on people, especially around this time. It was wrought with perceptions like this.
He looks like he tours with a ska band.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
fucking love Streetlight Manifesto.
They are surprised to find Father Gill bellied up to the bar. He makes a comment basically like, go where your flock is, right?
Yeah. Well, because Sam and Dean come in or something, and Dean like looks at the bartender, this very attractive bartender, and doesn't he say something like, I fit that ass on a nickel, which I don't even fully know what that means.
It's a very early
And then
2000s sort of like opinion about women's asses where it's just like, you want it to be small, right? Like a child.
It's like, is that
a thing you want?
But is that even what
it's like a tight ass, I think.
I guess.
Because isn't it usually you could bounce a quarter off it is the thing.
Yeah, but you could fit it on a nickel. And then the priest is like, and they're like, oh, hello, Padre.
Yeah. But which is funny because as the father gets up to leave, he says to the bartender, I'll see your ass.
Well, he says, I'll see your butt in church.
Yeah,
and then he turns to the guys and says, nickel or no. And then leaves. And you're like, man, what a cool priest.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know who else would sidle up to the bar? Little guy called Jesus Christ. He's almost got cool priest energy, youth pastor energy. This guy that plays the priest is also, you've seen him in every TV show ever.
Totally.
He's one of those actors. Yeah.
Absolutely. They meet the sassy bartender named Casey. Suddenly, one man gets up and walks over to a group of guys at a pool table and is looking really distraught. The one guy playing pool clearly recognizes this other guy and is just like, "Hey, like, what's like? Are you all right?" And the dude is like, "I'm just not feeling myself." And then he pulls a gun out.
Is the guy that gets shot here? This is gonna sound crazy. Is he Greg from Dharma and Greg?
Oh, interesting.
He looks exactly like him.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is, but I was like, oh, fuck, was that Greg?
Yeah, he's Discount Greg.
What's
for
his
sure.
name? He's from Criminal Minds or whatever.
Yeah, Discount Greg.
Yeah.
But yeah, suddenly the guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. Apparently because he slept with his wife.
Well, yeah, Dean like tackles this guy, and then
Yeah.
the guy was like, he slept with my wife. Blah, blah,
Because
blah.
he's just like, is something possessing you?
But then
Like,
could they put the holy water on him, and they're like, no, this guy is just a guy that killed the guy. And this is a thing, like they start realizing like these aren't possessions. This town is just like
sinful.
Vice City.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3. Vice City.
No, Vice City was its own, wasn't it? Was it 3?
It was Grand Theft Auto 3 Vice City. So it was sort of like a sub.
I thought it was
game.
between 3 and 4.
It was, but it was still
okay.
called 3 Vice City.
Oh, I
believe.
see. Okay.
Sam, then splashes him. They find out that he's not possessed, and then after the kerfuffle dies down, they discover Richie has disappeared.
Right.
Casey has seduced and taken Richie to her basement in a home owned by her parents.
Jesus, Richie, he's just so fucking horny.
There's this line where
She opens the door, and they're immediately going down these stone steps into a fucking catacomb.
Yeah, and
he's like, you sure this wouldn't be better in a bedroom?
I got oils back at my place, and she's like, yeah, but I've got toys. And it's like, oh, toys beat oils.
Down to the creepy basement I go.
God, it's so desperate.
God, I hope she touches my pee-pee.
Yeah.
That's the energy Richie has here.
Leisure Suit Larry, that's who he is.
That's exactly what it is. He's fucking Leisure Suit Larry. Oh, that's exactly what it is. Jesus Christ.
She lights candles and reveals she is possessed. Because she's basically like, she immediately recognizes that he, like, mentions that she knows that he's a hunter.
Yeah.
And so Richie pulls out a knife, but he's attacked, and then just instantly his fucking head's twisted.
Yeah.
Like fully snap twisted.
It's a fast one. It's like that Army of the Dead one.
Yeah. So fast.
Yeah. Decent effect, actually.
Yeah. They did a really good job. Yeah. Meanwhile, Bobby is testing the Colt in basically, I think, an area maybe behind his house or near woods.
Bags of sand. He's just shooting bags of sand. You got to know that mechanically it works. So that's a fine thing to test.
I wonder if
I don't know at what point he was going to be like, good for sand, good for demons. Like, my
guess is that he was expecting the gun to be sort of like do some magical thing before it's shot or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. He was trying shit out. He's desperate.
You got to make sure that it just shoots, bare minimum. So it's fine to test that. But it does beg the question that if Ruby hadn't shown up in this scene, how was he going to test it?
Oh, yeah. So Ruby arrives and reveals that she is a demon.
Yeah. Which she's already done for Sam, so we're sort of rehashing it, but Bobby hasn't met her yet. Yeah. And I don't think Sam has talked about her to Bobby.
I don't think so. Bobby shoots her under her request, but it does nothing.
Yeah, because she says, like, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's blah, blah, blah. But then after he shoots her, and she's like, ow, my shirt. I need a new shirt.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll help you make this like demon worthy.
Yeah, you just got to buy me a new shirt.
Yeah.
She offers basically to help make it demon killing again. While Dean searches for Richie, Sam investigates Trotter breaking into his office.
So Trotter is this guy who
owns the bar. He's sort of like
the bar.
Hotshot in town.
He owns like the town now, and he's got this black suit and all this kind of stuff. Do you recognize this actor?
Well, yeah,
he's from
Stargate.
Stargate. He's from Twin Peaks. He's from a few things. Yeah, he was like the general or whatever on Stargate.
So, yeah, his name is Don S. Davis. He's the second actor from the show Stargate that's been on here. The first being Terrell Rothery as the Doctor in the episode Heart, and later he comes back in season 10. Third being Michael Shanks as Rob in episode 99 Problems. The fourth being Amanda Tapping in season 8, episode 13 and 14. And the fifth being Christopher Cousins as Dr. Garrison's in the next episode, Bedtime Stories. And the sixth being Garwin Sanford as Deacon in Folsom Prison Blues. Several other Stargate actors have guest starred, as well as Julie McEvan, Elena Huffman from Stargate Universe, who played Anna Milton, and Josie Sands, Abaddon, respectfully, and Mitch Pileggi, who played Samuel from Stargate Atlantis. So huge crossover. My guessing is that they filmed Stargate in Vancouver. So,
by the way, I know we're not there yet in the season, but that Mitch Pileggi,
yes,
he's shown up a bunch on my Grey's Anatomy
Oh,
rewatch.
really? That's really funny. We also
get ready for the next long-running TV show podcast I do.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Pod's Anatomy.
Yeah, Pod's Anaticast.
Yeah.
Podcast Anatomy.
Mick Potty.
Oh, that's different.
That's just after you go to the bathroom after eating too much McDonald's.
Well, I mean, that's just constant. Then.
Yeah, oh no. But before we get into Trotter's office, Dean is hanging out at a bar denying a prostitute. He then flirts with Casey.
Well, yeah, she like flirts with him, and she's like everyone's got their eyes on you. And he's like, and he's flirting back. He's like, anybody could have stopped that maniac, got the gun away from him, prevented mass murder.
Yeah.
And then she's like, normally I charge $400, but let's call it an even deuce. And then Dean is immediately like, what the fuck do I look like? Which is a little
she's
shamey.
like, what do I look like?
Little shamey. And then she's like, yeah, what do I look like? And she walks away.
I'm a prostitute. You offered money for sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I thought you were friends with Richie.
Yeah. He then starts flirting with Casey, who's sort of like teasing him, giving him a hard time, and he makes a very bold offer to go back to her place, and she immediately agrees to do it at that moment.
Yeah, she's like, let's do it right now. Dean's like, all right.
Yeah, he rarely gets somebody that forward. He probably is stoked about it. But then we get Sam investigating Trotter's office. He breaks into the office.
This is such a good scene.
Yeah. He's then attacked. Trotter pulls a gun on Sam. There's also like this big sort of muscle there.
Yeah.
And Sam immediately splashes him with holy water.
Yeah, Sam like gets the gun away and stuff, splashes them with holy water. The guy's like, what are you, some sort of fucking psycho?
Yeah.
And Sam is like, Jesus, they're still not demons?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so sorry, sir. Big misunderstanding. He's like, I'll take the bullets. I'll leave you the gun.
Yes.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Bye?
Yeah. They're probably just like, what the fuck?
Sheepish Sam kind of thing. Yeah. He's so confident that this town is like, there's gambling and sex and all this stuff. This guy seems to be at the top of it. He must be the demon. And he's not.
Yeah.
And then Sam's like, God damn it.
Yeah, like what is going on here?
Yeah.
So Dean,
he's like, is this town just bad people?
Right?
Yeah.
So Dean goes with Casey to her basement. He reveals that
and even Dean is like, gee, like, all right.
Oh wow, this is cool.
What a normal house to have.
Yeah. He reveals that he actually already discovered that she killed Richie.
Yeah, he had already been by.
He also has already been to this basement. He hid a devil's trap under the rug, which then immediately traps her.
Yeah. She like uses her demon powers to like basically like
rip up the pages in the exercising book that
she destroys the exorcism book Dean was going to use. Dean can't remember the words,
which is just so funny,
which is very funny
because he gets so confident. He's like Amundos
but then she also like collapses the entrance and stuff. She's like, now we're stuck here together,
and this is really the episode.
It's a cool setup.
I love
because then they just sit and talk.
Yeah. They're basically at a stalemate now because they're just like, look, like either your brother's going to come here or my partner's going to come here, but like somebody's coming to save us. So it really just depends on who it is, who's going to have the upper hand here.
Exactly.
So we may as well just like chill out. I love this. I love this idea when it's like, look, you can't kill me. I can't kill you. Well, I guess we'll just just hang out, right?
Yeah.
I always loved this in anything. So as the night wanes on, they begin chatting. Dean attempts to exercise her by memory, can't remember the words. So she then reveals to him that she only encouraged Trotter to introduce things like gambling and prostitution. The behavior in Elizabeth is mainly due to just humans' natural instincts.
Yeah. Yeah. She just says, like, people just need a little nudge.
Yeah.
She said, it's fucking easy. All of these souls are coming to hell when they're dead. And didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, she just basically goes to the guy who owns everything and goes like, how would make you more money if you just like promoted sex and gambling. Like, it doesn't take much, right? She also tells him that the yellow-eyed demons, this is the first time we said it before, I think, but this is the first time we actually find out that his name was Azazel.
Yeah.
So we get this, and since his death, the demon hordes that escaped the Devil's Gate in Wyoming are now in chaos. They had a leader, and the sort of next in line was supposed to be Sam.
But yeah, now they're leaderless, and Dean's like, that sounds great. And she's like, does it? Now there's a bunch of demons jockeying for the crown.
Yeah.
They're loose in your world. It's like, you idiot.
Yeah, like this
You made things so much worse.
She also tells Dean that demons believe in a higher power, Lucifer. So this is also
kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
I like this little window into the conversation is like, do you even believe in like God? And Dean's like, I'd like to. And she's like, your God, like,
where is he?
He doesn't exist. He's nowhere. And she's like, we believe in something. We believe in Lucifer. That Dean's like, Lucifer exists? And she goes, well, no one's seen him. So like, even for demons, this is myth.
Yeah.
Like no one's seen him.
We've heard that he maybe created
but he was
us.
a beautiful angel and he refused to bow to people. And so he was banished and he created us and he'll come back. Like they have this sort of like antichrist kind of thing for Lucifer, which is really interesting. And she even says like, hell is torment. It's the worst. You're going there. You will not be okay.
Yeah.
There's a reason we try to get here.
Yeah.
So like demons try to escape hell. You're fucked.
Exactly.
It's the idea of like demon belief. And she, I think, says it out loud. Like, are we that different? Demons and humans? Like, really? Are we that different?
She actually respects Dean a bit by the end of it.
Yeah.
Right?
And kind of vice versa.
Yeah.
They have this sort of interesting understanding, which is interesting for Dean because Dean, thus far, Sam is like, maybe we should listen to Ruby. And Dean's like, she's a demon. And now Dean has this experience with a demon where he's like, God damn it. Even demons.
Why can't it just be simple?
Why can't it be?
Sam finds out where Casey lives and searches the house without finding Dean. But there are traces of sulfur indicating there is demon possession.
Yes.
He calls Bobby to tell him about this before returning to Trotter's bar, where he enlists the help of Father
Which
Gill.
is ballsy to go back to the bar of the guy that you robbed and then like retreated.
So funny.
Especially because that bar, we are told Trotter is always there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, he then he bumps into Father Gill and basically is like, hey, like I need to help him. He's like, I'll work with you.
Yeah, he's like, my brother left with the bartender.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, he left with the bartender. And the priest is like, well, I don't approve, but they're young and fuckable. But
Yeah.
he doesn't say that.
I mean, look at them both. I mean, be
yeah.
irresponsible to
I'm
not.
celibate. I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Although, frankly, they're a little too old for me. But
Oh no!
I'm a priest.
Oh no! Father Gill. Oh, you rascal!
oh, no.
Not realizing that the priest is actually also possessed by a demon.
Yeah, the priest is like, I'll take you to her place so you can find your brother.
I've been there many times.
Because Sam tries to ask the other bartender, and he's like, I'm not telling you where the fuck Casey lives.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, I love. There's also a scene first where he's just like, "Hey, have you seen these people?" And he's just like, I think I need a little lubrication here.
Yeah,
Like,
and Sam's just like, what the fuck is with this town?
yeah. But then he's like, where does he live? He's like, this is a workplace. Like, I'm not telling, even if you pay me, I'm not telling you.
Kudos to this bartender.
Yeah, he's got a
He's
code.
skeevy and stuff, but yeah, he's got a code.
I appreciate
And
that.
he respects HR.
Most important.
You don't give out personal
right.
information of employees.
Very important. So he basically decides that he's going to work with Father Gill. When Sam and Father Gill arrive at Casey's house, Dean tries to warn Sam about him. There's a very sort of, because he realizes he can't say specifically anything, so he just basically goes like, hey, be careful.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, because Sam like sees him through a grate.
Yes.
Dean is like, oh, great. And he's like, I'm here with Father Gil. Dean looks at the demon, and the demon kind of goes like one of mine.
Yeah. It's an interesting moment, right? So Father Gil breaks into the basement and releases Casey, revealing they have been lovers for centuries.
But just before that, Bobby shows up.
That's right.
With the Colt, tries to shoot him. This was a very, like, I laughed at the effect. Not like at it, that it was a bad effect, but it was like kind of comedic. Because demons do a lot of telekinesis stuff in this show. But the way he throws Bobby, like the Bobby, whatever, digital doll or whatever, just goes like, whoop, like so fast.
That's really
like,
funny.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to break his neck by doing that. But Father Gil attacks him and then Sam. Then breaks into the basement, releases Casey, revealing that they have actually been lovers for centuries. He's about to kill Dean despite Casey's basically like protesting.
Yeah. Casey is like, we don't have to kill him. Let's just get out of here.
Which is interesting because she's like, she respects him. She's like,
and then Sam busts in. Colt shoots the priest who electrifies out. And then Dean is like, no, wait, Sam, don't. And then he kills the bartender.
That's right.
So both Dean and this demon were like,
well, the other person's not so bad.
We're not so different, you and I. It was Heat.
Yeah, 100%. Or Fast and the Furious. He was just going to let her drive off.
The super and the natural.
Wow.
Too super, too natural.
The super naturals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're that mammoth rack over there. Really shame when I had to gank her.
Yeah.
It's me, Richie. I'll be here for episodes to come.
Uh-oh.
To come.
Yeah, we got it, Richie. Bada bona.
I really hope somebody touches my penis.
That Woody Allen?
Oh no. We know what his thoughts on that are. And they're bad.
Less Richie and more Priest. Dean stares at Sam as though he doesn't even recognize him, which I'm just like, okay, it's a demon, all right?
Yeah, this is the thing. If we want to play into that idea, and I think it was in the then now of that, what Azazel said, that like, are you sure what you brought back was 100% pure, Sam?
Yes.
He's such a good fucking actor. I love him so much. If we're trying to play into that, this should be less clear cut for Sam.
Yeah.
Sam should at least have an experience that Dean and the demon have an understanding and then still choose to kill the demon.
Yeah.
But to just come down and be like, there's two demons. Boom, boom. I saved you, Dean. Like, that's fine. I don't think it represents the fear that it should. Whereas, like, if he came down and he sees or hears Dean and her talking, and then he comes in and Dean's like, let's just get out of here. And then on the way out, Sam turns and kills her cold. That would be more of like oh shit, kind of thing. But that's, I think I agree with you. Like, Dean is more, he's concerned narratively, but he shouldn't be in real life.
Yes.
Like,
so afterwards, basically kind of the next day, they're walking through the town. It hasn't really changed much.
No, because there was no
demon possession. Like,
this is like the thing in the Wonder Woman movie. It wasn't Ares.
Yeah.
Like, people are bad. The war continues.
Exactly. When Dean and Bobby are crossing the street outside the bar at the end of the episode, you can see that it is the same street used in the show Eureka from 2006. Outside of
that?
You've never seen Eureka?
No, what's
Eureka? It's a
Eureka?
great show just outside of Jack Carter's sheriff's office. It's this really cool show where this guy basically like goes into this town to investigate. It ends up being like a really supernatural town, and lots of like cool stuff happens. I watched the first couple seasons of it. It was really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's totally worth watching. Dean confesses to Bobby the question that Azazel asked him after Sam coldly dispatched Jake at the Devil's Gate. Is he certain that he brought back 100% pure Sam?
Yeah, see, the Jake thing, that's a moment.
Yeah.
This one with the demon isn't that.
Yeah.
Not strong enough, at least.
Exactly. Bobby verbally dismisses his concerns, but both of them are visibly worried. As Sam prepares to leave, Ruby appears and congratulates him on killing the demons. Sam reminds her that he killed 2 people in the process, and that upsets him. When he threatens her with the Colt, she reminds him of this is a quid pro quo.
Yeah, she's like, you wanted to get your brother out of this demon deal, and he's like, you haven't done shit yet. And she's like, I've come and saved your ass a few times, so how about you simmer down?
Exactly. Quid pro quo is Latin for that.
Yes.
So people, in case you don't know, and that's the end of the episode.
There you go.
Wow. Sin City.
Yeah. Mickey Rourke's big comeback.
No, this is not the movie. It's not Frank.
Powers Booth.
No.
Who else?
Some
is
gross
in
yellow shit at the end.
there? Yeah.
Not that.
Bruce Willis.
Nope. Not. It was
Jessica Alba.
Oh, this summer.
This summer, the city is sin.
So not that. But what did you think of this episode of the TV show?
This episode,
Sam.
I thought it was pretty good. No, I like this one.
Yeah.
I like these episodes that just make their world muddier.
Yeah.
You know, like an episode like the Benders, or an episode like the maybe the second one with the vampires.
Yeah.
Like the first Gordon one where you're like, oh, I don't know. Like anything that kind of makes it less clear what the right decision is. And this episode, I mean, we're already getting a bit of it with Ruby, but now with this other demon, you're like, so now there's more than, it's not just an outlier demon. There are demons with inner lives.
Yeah.
Or just that their mission is not necessarily that different from humans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't possess anyone. Humans made this town the sort of weird, bad place it is, with very little encouraging. Are demons worse than that? And yeah, it exposes Dean to that gray area, which is always, I mean, Sam is already ready for that. What the episode wants to do is Dean starts learning the gray area and Sam starts getting more black and white. The episode doesn't really pull that off.
Yeah.
But I do like any episode that does that. It's got some great guest stars, from the guy that played the priest to Trotter. Like, there's some like kind of
heavy
big
hitters,
you see them in a lot of TV. They're like big actors in this episode, which is pretty cool. I think it does help. I mean, Richie. Oh, Jesus, Richie. I do, again, I like expanding like the circle where it's like, here's a guy I know, and then just like to off him right away is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I like this episode. I don't think it's a great episode.
No.
Maybe just because I kind of forgot about it mostly. Yeah, it's funny. Do you agree? Like, this episode both does some things, like they rebuild the Colt and stuff, but also like doesn't do anything.
Yeah, totally.
Because that's sort of where I feel like I actually don't think there's anything like inherently wrong with the episode, but it just kind of feels forgettable and almost like a placeholder, like a stopgap. Like, some stuff will change, but we can't do too much because we got other stuff we got to get to.
Which is interesting because it
doesn't feel like a big development. And even the episode that comes after, the repercussions of this episode aren't felt yet. So
yeah, you're not really getting, I mean, considering the huge writers that are behind this episode, I was surprised.
Yeah.
What are you ranking this?
I mean, again, it's not bad, so I guess I'm just giving this like I think I'm giving this like a 3 sex dungeons.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just a 3.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just kind of boring.
It's
boring and it doesn't do much. And the things it's trying to do, the couple of swings it takes, don't work.
It's doing
like the thing about
lot.
Sam and shit.
It's doing too much. One, I think they really got to let go of this whole fucking is Sam a demon thing, like, or is Sam not fully himself or whatever,
or do it better.
Yeah, I just think like this is a thing that this show obsesses over and will continue to, which is just this concept.
We are not done with this.
No, this. I mean, get fucking strap in if this is the first time you're watching it. Right? The show likes this idea, but just can't. It takes them a long time to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So Also, this season's strapped with a bunch of other issues. One where they were intending for it to be this big demon war, realizing they didn't have the money to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
Also, the writer strike is coming up. Like, there's so much bubbling at the surface of this episode. My problems with this is it's trying to do too much. One, I wish that, not because of a gender thing, but I kind of wish that we had the priest be the one who was stuck with Dean in the basement. Because my big thing is, like, you're having this conversation about religion, but it should be through the filter of somebody who's a priest, because you can have a more interesting conversation, I think.
Especially because we're talking about, like, we believe Lucifer
Yes.
exists. Your God definitely doesn't exist.
It would be so much more interesting if it came from a priest.
Yeah, I agree. Thematically.
I like that thematical thing. I think, like, the sexual tension isn't enough for me to want that.
Because that weird sort of, like, the, like, sexually luring people thing doesn't go anywhere.
No.
It's not like that's the pattern in this town, or that's the thing, or it's an actual succubus or anything. So it's like, yeah, I agree. That doesn't do anything.
I think that this episode is unfair to Richie and sort of paints him in a poor light. Hashtag justice for Richie.
Oh, yeah. You want him to just, like, come back, walk in out of the darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
On your left. Oh, I just...
It's me and my dong. Hey.
I think it's unfair to him because he is a bit of an idiot and a dirtbag, but he doesn't actually do anything wrong.
No, he doesn't at all.
Like, he's very sweet in the fact
he's
that
a weird, horny maniac, but he's contributing to the local economy.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything wrong.
he also is very much just like, hey, like, why don't we go to a nice place I can take care of you? Got oils. And he's like, oh, toys, sure, whatever you're up for.
Yeah,
Like,
even he is like, maybe a cold stone basement isn't where I want to get my fuck on.
yeah. He's done nothing wrong. So I think that's there. The Colt thing is sort of like, feels like they just needed to tie in a loose end or something.
I almost wish this episode was only about rebuilding the Colt.
Either
Like,
just-
you know, like, we could save this demon Lucifer thing for a different episode,
Yeah.
make that happen somewhere. But I kind of wish that this Colt thing got more attention. Let's talk about runes. How do you imbue magic into regular objects? How would Colt have made this? How can we make it work again? Was the magic in the bullets or the gun? Like, all that lore shit is just handled off camera
Yeah.
by two characters that previously have not met.
Yeah.
And then
it's
they just
true.
go like, I'm here to help you. And they go like, fine. And then Bobby shows up and he's like, here. And then he tosses it to Sam. And then Bobby doesn't even show up to pull the shot off. Like,
it'd be more interesting to see like his interactions with Ruby.
yeah.
That's the conversation about demons that I'd rather have seen.
Yes.
Because somebody who's sort of like working against them with the human and sort of like, and Bobby's such an interesting character when it comes to that kind of thing that it'd be a more interesting story to tell. I understand doing it with Dean, but like, I also feel like the sin thing wasn't sinful enough in this city either.
Yeah. I mean,
It was
like,
just like a
fine,
bar.
like, people are gambling, and I guess like, yes, someone like tanked his business and stuff, but like,
It's not enough. I think
it wasn't like this town was like, we're not paying our taxes either. The money's like, it wasn't like they had fully descended into sin chaos. It was
Yeah.
just, they were just mean people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point, but I don't think it's as impactful as they want it to be.
Yeah, I just wish that it trimmed down a bit of what it was trying to do in this episode. I'd rather way more time just inside that basement.
Might also be a weird choice that they set it in just a regular bar instead of a strip club.
Yeah.
Like, even just that change is like, this was a nice town, and then Trotter opened a strip club, and the
Yeah.
neighbors don't like, you know what I mean?
And have
Like,
a conversation.
all of our husbands and wives go to the strip club now, and it's corrupting our town, but it's just like a bar. There's a
Yeah.
pool table. People are like socializing,
Yeah.
like things we would kill for now.
Yeah. Like, just doesn't it never felt like people were going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I watched an episode of I watched one of the movies. I mean, it is an episode. I watched one of the Fast and the Furious movies the other day, and it's like that felt like way more sinful than we're going through the bar in number 4. Like that.
Yeah.
Like there was like 3 chicks
But
making
also
out here, and
this
like,
episode sets up that 2 guys went too far and ruined their lives and died,
yeah,
and then abandons that.
yeah,
They abandoned that. They
Yeah.
abandoned the lure people sexually to the basement thing.
yeah.
There's a bunch of just like unbaked ideas.
Unfinished thoughts, right? Like, and it's, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, does it achieve what it was trying to do? Yeah, sure, I guess. Like, I'm gonna give it 2.75 stepsisters.
Yeah, definitely step.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
Right?
That's what the internet says.
Yeah, you two stepbrothers, right?
Yeah, sure.
He looks straight down the barrel of the camera. These two are stepbrothers for this episode.
Yeah, that's what TV Guide says. So that is our reviews.
There you go.
Before we wrap up, why don't we look at one of our letters from a fellow hunter?
Ooh, let's do it.
Come in from Caitlin, who says, "Hey, Ghostfacers. I had listened to a podcast about changelings a while back, and one of the ways that you said you could spot if your kid is a changeling is to put either a boot in a bowl of soup or bake a very small loaf of bread in half an eggshell. If the subject laughs, you've got yourself an imposter. If that's the test, I may be a changeling. I mean, who isn't going to laugh at a bowl of boot soup? Just a bit of lore for you, which, by the way, is my favorite part of the show.
Oh, that's so nice.
Sincerely, a Dean girl."
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. Yeah, the boot thing is interesting. The eggshells, that's part of that changeling lore. I don't fully remember why, but it was, you could also either like boil the changeling in with the eggshells or just boil the eggshells. It was supposed to, like, they couldn't handle the ruse anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
The boot thing is very... I hazard a guess that at a certain point in time, if you only had water and fire and you just needed something for broth, people might have just made boot soup.
Well, it's like stone soup,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Imbue it with the flavor of anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's very funny. That's great. That's great extra lore.
Yeah. Thank you, Caitlin.
You're right. Boot soup is funny.
Yeah, if you want to maybe send us a letter just like Caitlin, or you have a note about this episode or a future one, or you just want to say hi and talk about the show with us, you can...
Or you got a lead on demons that need killing.
Oh, yeah, we're ready for that.
We're ready.
We're totally ready. I've got salt. That's all I need.
Yeah. And I've got... we could take my RAV4.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a Forerunner, I feel like.
We don't really need that. That's kind of ostentatious.
Why don't you send us an email?
Ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can reach out to us through all the different social media platforms that are appropriate for our age.
That's right. Ghostfacers Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're not on TikTok.
No. I mean, I'm on TikTok.
I'm lurking on TikTok, but we aren't on TikTok.
We're leering on TikTok.
Hey, Richie.
Hey, don't worry about it.
It's 2007.
This is my step TikTok account.
Oh, no.
Don't forget also to subscribe to the podcast so that you can get all of these episodes automatically every single week, and give us a 5-star review.
Do it.
Basically all of the podcast platforms.
Do it.
Yes. Hello, Eddie. Review my podcast, Eddie.
Do it, Eddie.
But if it's not an Apple Podcast platform, then you just have to make sure you send a photo of it, and you can email it to us or DM it.
Screenshot it and post it on Twitter or something, and then we'll read it on the show.
That's right. Also, if you want to love our show even more and show the world that you do, we've got merch.
Baby.
GhostfacersPodcastStore.com.
Fuck yeah.
Got hoodies and t-shirts and phone cases and
Woo!
tons of really fun stuff.
EMF reader cases.
Nope. That's not a thing we sell there.
Boxes of salt.
Nope.
We just start reselling salt. The merch store is just us reselling salt and iron fire pokers.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. So, if you want even more content from us.
Oh my God, more?
That's not necessarily supernatural related, but I think is relevant to your interest. We have a whole other podcast.
Check out the Dr. DC podcast. We talk about DC Comics. We answer listener questions. We talk about lore, the rules, but superheroes.
That's right.
How does that world work? We talk a lot about how magic and stuff and demons work on Supernatural. We talk about some of that stuff over there too.
Yeah.
There's lots of kind of crossover, but if you enjoy that, you don't need to know anything about it. It's for everybody. Go check it out.
Say goodbye.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.